Of a day and welcome to Games You Should Play, a series where I point out great games that deserves more attention and offers a unique experience. My first choice is very deserving of this statement, but first, story time. You see, back in the day, let's say 2016, I find myself playing fast-paced action games. They were mostly story-driven, but was also action-packed adventures. Then one day I found myself in a slump. I began buying games only if I can afford them. And then in that same year, PSN provided Journey and Lords of the Fallen on PS Plus. I was not familiar with either of them, but Lords of the Fallen looked like an action adventure game, and so I played that first. Fast forward to the end and I find myself back to the same slump. So with no choice left, I decided to try out Journey. And those of you who have played Journey, you already know what I'm about to say. It blew my mind. The game was so beautiful and purveyed an experience unlike any other game. Ever since then, I keep a lookout for this type of games. So today I want to talk about this beautiful game, Lost Ember. Lost Ember was developed and published by Moon Eye Studios. It was released on November 22nd, 2019. The game was thankfully funded with the help of Kickstarter. Moon Eye Studios consists of 5 talented members from Hamburg and Berlin. Now, before we begin, I just want to let you know now. There is no combat, there is no enemies. You can't even die in Lost Embers, because the main point of this game is to expose you to beautiful visuals, enticing soundtracks, and interesting stories. They provide a special experience. If that doesn't bother you, then let's begin. Beautiful games like Lost Ember looks simple, right? Wrong. Because in my opinion, it's easy to create an artsy looking game. What is hard is to immerse your players into your game. Journey puts you in a solitary adventure, so when you see another player, you can't help but feel excited meeting them. Abzu's setting is unique, placing you in the unexplored ocean sea. Lost Ember created this amazing, simple, but effective mechanic. During your journey in Lost Ember, you'll face blockage, and the game solves this blockage with Wolf's ability of possessing the wildlife. For example, in the beginning of the trail is inaccessible because, well, there's no ground. So Wolf can jump to other animal bodies and control them for how long he needs to. I fell in love with this mechanic. The ability to control different kinds of animals and view the world in their perspective was a big treat for me. Some animals help you pass obstacles and some are there just for you to enjoy, if you can find them. Watching the world through the eyes of a hummingbird, high up in the air or swimming in the deep blue sea, really puts you in a position to see the magnificent beauty of the world. Whether it's the game's intention or not, it made me appreciate our own wildlife. I see their value and importance, not only to us, but to the whole world. There is a total of 15 animals you can interact with. What's nice to see is the variation of the same animal, not only with different shades, but with unique animals called legendaries. Think of it like shiny Pokemons. There's only 6 of them, and it only serves as a collectibles in the game. So if you love animals just like me, then this mechanic alone is enough for you to try out this gorgeous game. The story in Lost Ember is very powerful. It involves greed, wrath, betrayal, and love, the perfect recipe for a heartbreaking tale. You see, the character you control is no ordinary wolf. She was a member of the Yarana tribe, and because she was denied access to the City of Light, she instead is reincarnated to a wolf. In the beginning of the story, we see a little spirit looking for help to find his way into the City of Light, but none of the other animals can understand him until he finds you, the wolf. Along your journey, the spirit discovers that you're a lost ember because of the fact you're still here on Earth and have not ascended into the City of Light. So you both set out to discover why, and in turn, you help him as well. The story is portrayed in these static cutscenes. They're simple, but it does not take the experience out, meaning I'm still immersed in the story and it has not bothered me, because the story stays interesting and keeps me motivated. Without spoiling too much, we find out you were a Yanrana tribe member named Kalani. We also learn that due to crops failing and people starving, Kalani started to rebel with a group, and I'll leave you to continue the journey and find out the fates of Kalani, your spirit ally, and the rest of the Yanrana tribes. Other assets that benefit Lost Embers are the visual and the soundtrack. Many area exhibits powerful visuals that communicates the proper emotions without the aid of dialogue, which can be so hard or rare for other games I have played. If you notice, there is no distracting minimap allowing you to appreciate your environment, and many areas are just so fucking gorgeous. I praise the person who's responsible for this. The other asset that is considerably needed to make this type of game work is the soundtrack. Now hear me out, because I may be saying something that does not make sense, but in my opinion, a soundtrack is only effective if it lingers in your playthrough. It's not overbearing, it's not too quiet, but it matches what the game is trying to convey. Lost Ember has done this perfectly. It's only after playing the game I remember the subtle yet effective tones that help carry the story to new heights. Damn, closing statement already? Well, Lost Ember doesn't offer a lot of content, and what I mean by that, there's none of those out of place RPG elements or crafting mechanics. The points I pointed out earlier are simple but effective, and I'll keep repeating that term because I believe understanding less is more can help make a beautiful, great game. Okay, on to the faults. Lost Ember is an indie game, so it's short. I estimate 5 to 7 hours long, less if you focus on the story. But if you combine the story and the in-game collectibles, you may push it to the full 7 hours. Also, there were some sections in the game where I'm enjoying the soundtrack, only for it to be abruptly stopped, leaving only the sound of nature. I'm not sure if that's on purpose or a glitch. All I know is that it can be very annoying. It breaks the immersion. Luckily, it's not too often when it happens. Listen, since you're still here, I'm gonna assume you're indeed interested in this type of games, or you're like me, searching for the next journey-ish type game. Well, Lost Ember will do the trick. With beautiful visuals, soundtrack, and a tear-jerking story, I am confident this game will be enjoyable.
No, that wasn't my name. Maybe this isn't my body after all. I do remember that name. What? It's you. The amulet. That's Kalani.
So do yourself a favor and try looking in a different perspective. Thanks for watching, guys. Next up, we have...
Doctor? Yes, he helped me treat Hugo. He will look after you.
And what about you?
You
have
not
to come.
need me, Amicia. You are.
But I do need you. I need you.
Hurry now. Follow the river. It will lead you to Laurentius.